listening to Trina. And let me tell you, all of y'all who was there talking about, oh, our generation is so degenerate and all that type of stuff. Man, if y'all don't shut your ass up, because the way the songs that y'all was, let me tell you, I know y'all dropping down in the comments. They want to call us, because I'm a millennial, they want to call us millennials, the boomers. They want to call us degenerates. But where the hell did we get the degenerate behavior from? Okay? Before there was Trina, you know, we had Lil' Kim, Adina Howard. Like, come on now. But yeah, you guys, your girl G here is back. I'm at the store. Ooh, let me slow down because it's about to be a school zone and this cop ain't finna pull me over. I would know I was talking about pulling over, but you gonna pull me over because my ass too fat, not because because you're trying to give me a ticket, okay? Pull over that too fat, whoop whoop, okay? I'm looking back, trying to make sure his ass stay right there. But yeah, you guys, welcome back. I said when I got out the store, I was gonna come and talk to you guys about Married to Medicine, so I can try to knock out these videos. I just did Love and Marriage Huntsville, so hopefully by the time I get home editing, that should be up by now, okay? If you're watching this video, so make sure y'all go show that some love. But Married to Medicine, let's go ahead and get into it. So we open up the episode with Contessa and Scott over there at their new building that they done went and purchased for 1.5. I think that was what it said, 1.5. And they behind. They've already invested as well as $400,000 when it comes to the renovating. Ooh, the sun. Hold on, you guys, because I can't even see. Woo! Okay, there we go. Just trying not to wreck. And as they're talking through the funds, you know, Scott's like, yeah, you know, it's gonna take, you know, I can imagine like 1.5 or something like that. And Contessa's looking at him like, are you crazy? Like, no, it's gonna be way more than that. Like, we're already 4 months past our schedule. What do you mean? And so one thing I know about construction and then certain construction companies, if they feel like you got money, or if they hear about you, look you up and feel like you got money, they're gonna try to jip you, okay? They're gonna try to make it take longer. They're gonna try to come with a whole bunch of problems. Trust and believe. So whoever that little lady was that they were talking to, I guess maybe she was the interior decorator or whatnot, I don't know. But Scott talking about they done cleared out their, you know, IRA and their 401k and all types of stuff. So it's like, it's gotta work. So as they're over there, yeah, after they end up talking about that, Toya is supposed to be, Toya and Eugene are supposed to be, you know, potentially partnering with Contessa and Scott, or at least renting out one of the booths that's in there, because it's going to be like a medical spa situation. And kind of like how people who are like in the salons, they basically like create a whole building and then like allow people to basically, you know, work their business out of there. And so Contessa, she telling Toya that it's gonna be 2 weeks, 2 months. You know, good guy dang well that construction lady was like, yeah, it's gonna be a hot minute. So speaking of Toya, y'all only watched the episode like one and a half times. So if I missed something, I apologize. I'm trying to catch up. But I do know Toya, she went over there to see Brandy at her, you know, place of business or whatever. And so Simone, I think, happened to go with her or met her there. Simone was there nonetheless. And so they're talking with Brandy and, you know, discussing how the Polo Classic went and, you know, Jackie being shady or whatever. She was like, you know, you told me that she was going to try it or whatever. And literally in the midst of them over there discussing, Toya, you know, talking with Simone about trying to make things better with Quad, because at this point it's like, girl, like, Simone and Quad, just understand y'all don't like each other. And I feel like for some reason Simone is, I don't know, afraid to admit to herself that she don't like Quad, or it's like she knows she don't like Quad but can't just completely axe her out because she knows Quad has a good amount of support, people following her, and they roll in the same crowd. So she's got, like, I think she still wants to maintain herself in Quad's orbit, and you can't do that. Like, you're pissed off, you know. She's like, you cut, later on in the episode when they start that fake ass crying. Well, matter of fact, we'll get into it. But nonetheless, Toya gets a call, and y'all, I felt so bad. Toya's dog Bailey's passed away. The dog was found in the pool floating. I just heard talking about they had that dog for 18 years. Literally hit my heart because I had a dog for 17 years. He was literally our first dog. His name was Bully, and we named him Bully because we used to have this other dog. He was a little rat terrier, and so he was a child mix, so he was so much bigger than him, and he used to just not let him eat his food, and so we just called him Bully because he was like a little bully. But when he passed away, it literally hurt my heart. And I get it, but just think about 18 years. 18 years of anything is a long time. So she cries, and I damn near shed a tear because I've lost a amount of dogs since we've been a dog family. So I've lost 4 or 5 dogs. One was stolen, cried over that. 2 of them had 3 dogs have had 4. Oh shit, let me think. Nonetheless, I've experienced some damn, we a pet cemetery at my house, low key. But that's sad. But I just felt Toya. I felt for her so bad. And so Brandy comes in. She's like, "What can I do?" And she was like, "You got some tequila?" And Simone busts out laughing. And she's like, "How you gonna make me laugh at a time like this?" And it's like, "Girl, we gotta laugh to keep from crying." So because of that, they end up doing like a cute little pet funeral. Everybody shows up, including Heavenly. Finally, Heavenly show up. Heavenly want to be messy though, because she's like, I heard, people want to talk about me. So shoot, since you talking about me, let me show up, Let me be like the Candyman. You say my name 3 times and then boom, here I am, bitch. Surprise.
I heard you bitches was looking for me. Bitch, here I go. I heard you bitches was looking for me. Bitch, here I go.
So Heavenly show up with her daughter's dog. And Toya and Eugene are up there giving like the little pet eulogy. Brandy was flabbergasted because she's like, wait a minute. She's like, this looked like a real funeral. Like, she's like, for a dog, like, this legit like a real funeral? I said, where are you, man? Y'all better have an obituary. Y'all need to have best of Bailey's moments, playing on a little projector in the back. That's what they needed. But, Toya just kind of talked about how she would have been sad if Bailey's last experience of her would have been her yelling at her because she, like, went to the bathroom inside the house. And so, Eugene, because Toya starts crying, and Eugene's like, Bailey's was just, like, a huge part of our life. She taught us how to be parents before we really became parents. Like, we see it, like, even on social media, like, people who got pets, we take care of our pets. We love our pets like family. Especially for the fine rich aunties like myself, with no kids, we gonna spoil our pets, point blank period. But it was like a cute event, but it was really sad though. But nonetheless, after that's done, all the ladies are basically chit-chatting, and I think Jackie invites them to like a cute little sexy soiree dance situation. Come on, lady. She invites them to do like a little sexy dance. So the ladies later on are gonna do that. But after that, before that, when the episode first opened up, I forgot to mention how Toya and Eugene were talking about Heavenly running, and Toya has her foot on Heavenly's neck this season. And you know what? I ain't mad at it because we've been waiting for somebody to get in Heavenly's ears.
Get her ass.
For the shit that she's caused, since she stepped foot on this show, Heavenly has been wreaking havoc on everybody's motherfucking life, okay? So the fact that we're just now finally getting to Heavenly and it's her turn, bitch, like, it's about time, okay? But Eugene, she's like, Heavenly should be running for nothing. Shoot, she can barely maintain her friendships. And so Eugene, he was laughing. He was like, yeah, but like, shoot, with the state of the country, it ain't no way that that she would be any different. Like, Heavenly is a mess. Hell yeah, but look at who our president is. Like, there's literally no more decorum or no more boundaries or no more, like, rule of thumb when it comes to our politicians, the people who run the country. Like, all of that shit went out the window. There's no more of that, like, staying inside the guidelines of what a person's supposed to be who's running the country, So after that, well, that was at the beginning of the episode, but I mentioned that or whatever. But nonetheless, after the fume or whatever, and Jackie invites him to the dance thing. Speaking of Heavenly, there was a scene with Heavenly and Daddy. Oh Lord, that shit pissed me off. Every time she say Daddy, I don't even want to hear. Only thing when I think of Daddy is I think of ATL. Look, be clear. This is my daddy house. I've been running things here since I was 15. You just been getting over, okay? Look, look, be clear. This is my daddy house, okay? Be clear, all right? And Heavenly over there talking to Daddy because it's, obviously come out about her son and the arrest and things like that. And Heavenly's basically talking to him about, like finding out about it. And she's like, you didn't tell me, Daddy. Why didn't you tell me? And he was like, I felt as a man I wanted to handle it, or I was going to handle it. And in some aspects, like, I get what Damon's saying. Like, your son calls you. I'm sure it's like, I certainly ain't finna call my mama to come pick me up. It's like, let me call my daddy. This is a collect call from from Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia facility. And it's like, he called his daddy came and got him or whatever. And I don't think that's necessarily the problem of him not telling Heavenly that he went to go bail his son out, that he did all that for him. The problem is, why did you tell your wife after? That's the thing. Like, that's the gimme gotcha of it all, because, like, that's your wife at the end of the day. That's y'all's child, and, like, she deserves to know all of that. She deserves to be told that. Because then you have the situation where what happened was she was blindsided. She's got people, throwing that shit in her face, and it's like, you, as a husband, as much as you think you were protecting her, you ended up actually not doing that. Because, like, you left her open to social media and to other people, and that's something that a lot of men don't really consider, the thing of, like, how you leave your wife open to, people coming after her, attacking her, feeling like they can talk crazy to her on social media or whatever. Like, that's pretty much kind of the consensus, especially of men who don't consider, it's more than just protecting her inside the house. It's also about protecting her outside the house and to the public and things like that. So Damon, that confessional really pissed me off when she was like, well, you didn't tell me. He's like, oh, I didn't? Yeah, I told you. I know I told you. I'm pretty sure I told you. I didn't told you? I told you, buddy. Bitch. That shit would piss me off because you're playing on my head top. What other show that was that dude? He was like, I told you. No, good. God dang. Well, he didn't. But now Heavenly's thing is her son, he's kind of like not talking to her because she's like, I ain't gonna lie, when I found out, I cussed his ass out. That's what it's given. She cussed him from right to left. And because he's a grown-ass man now, he's feeling like, oh, word? Watch, let me shake my hands of it, And so now Heavenly over there, Daddy, he ain't talking to me. I know I said a lot of things, Daddy. But, like, you think you could tell him to talk to me or call me? He's like, no. He's like, the only thing we can do is wait, and when he comes or whatever, then I'll be there with a big hug. And it's giving, Damon Jr. and Damon Sr. are kind of like in tandem with each other, know how to communicate with each other. But Heavenly, whatever you said to that boy, for him to not be talking to you for months, that's crazy. I really wonder what Heavenly said. But more than anything too as well, Heavenly girl, you need to get prepared, because if you're going to be running for state representative, literally your whole background is finna be filleted open for everybody. So the way you was acting with Toya and hearing about her talking about your son, girl, that quite literally is the tip of the iceberg. Toya ain't nothing. But yeah, heavily with all that, oh yeah, daddy, it's just so much. I just can't, can you have him call me? And they hugging each other. And it's just like, oh, I'm so sick of heavily that bullshit. Like, I am personally not a girl who calls niggas daddy in real life or in the bedroom. I don't knock it if you do it. Go ahead, call your nigga daddy, not my problem. But for me, the problem is when you start calling niggas daddy in the bedroom is they start actually feeling like they your daddy. And they want to start acting like that. And it's like, do as I say, you know? And it's like, that's what we're doing in the discussion. I'm not your daughter, sir. I'm a grown-ass woman. And like, you're not finna talk to me and be like, I'm putting my foot down and that's final. As if, like, you my daddy, you know? Like, because dudes really start to get a little too, you know, all up in their chest with their macho when it comes to that. Like, they don't know how to just keep the shit in the bedroom. If you get called daddy in the bedroom, they don't know how to keep it there. They want to act like that in real life, telling you what you can and can't do. And sir, last time I checked, I came in this world by myself and finna leave by myself, okay? What you do is talk and we discuss, compromise, have conversation, you know, and then you ask me what you feel, or you're telling me the things that you know you would like for me to respect, and then it's up to me to decide if I'm going to act accordingly or not, you know. It's just like that shit, it just nonetheless. So Contessa and Toya, they riding in the car over there to go meet Jackie at her little, you know, dance party or whatever, little sexy situation. And yeah, Toya was asking Contessa about the building, and she was like, yeah, it's gonna be like 2 weeks. Anyways, she's like, yeah, gonna wear the Jackie, you know, I'm trying to get, you know, Toya and Simone to see if they can finally get, you know, cool with each other. And she's like, but I don't even know if it's finna be fun, you know, Jackie don't drink. Contessa was like, well, girl, that's why I got the bottle, okay? Gotta have a bottle, okay? First it was Monaleo with the get off that Don Julio, act a foolio. Bitch, I called your motherfucking phone. That's how you do me, ho. Okay? And then from Cardi B to, cause Don Julio gonna do the trick every time. Bottle after bottle after bottle in this motherfucker. Okay? So yeah, that's how it's like, you gotta keep a bottle in the car for any occasion. That's the type of friend that I am. Well, we gonna turn up lit to the party, especially any event we gonna pregame, cause the amounts that they try to charge for these drinks now, like I said, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the perfect turn up era. Okay, shots was, they used to have $1 or $2 shot nights. Okay, $5 drinks, $5 margaritas, and you get the little extra shot on the side. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm before section culture. All right, we went to the club, came out sweaty, point blank period. But yeah, nonetheless, you know, shoot, we gonna show up and turn up, okay? Nonetheless, okay, so yeah, the ladies get there, everybody showed up dressed cute, Angel looked cute, Heavenly had on some like biker short situations, Jackie, look how Jackie always look. And in the midst of them doing that, the men are over there congregating with each other, because this is the first time the men kind of get a chance to really like discuss, talk, and everything, especially with all of them together, right? So all of the men are getting together, and Damon, you know, actually comes this time, right? And so you know, they're all kind of like trying to give the newbie, because he's like, you know, he was thrown off guard because he was right there when his wife got asked that question from Jackie. He's like, you know, how do these ladies handle, you know, confrontation? You know, how do you handle it with each other within your relationship and stuff like that? And he's like, you know, the ladies, they'll always sit there and talk about like, oh yeah, we're good, or oh yeah, you know, like we'll talk. He's like, it ain't never finna be like that. He's like, that's not how it go. And he was like, you know, then Curtis with his old big Mr. Potato Head ass, he felt like he wanna pull up or try to try to call out Eugene, try to subliminal him or what, and Toya or whatever. But Curtis wanted to sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, in this group, you know, also too, we definitely as husbands need to be able to tell our wives when they're wrong, because there will be certain times when they're wrong, you know. And Eugene is like, he's like, first things first, he was like, always tell your wife you support her. He's like, always be on her side. He was like, what you do is, you know, after she's done, you know, ranting, raving, whatever, he's like, try to find, you know, a breath point, or where she takes a breath, to just kind of, you know, drop a nugget in there and just, you know, leave it be, you know. And Eugene can give that advice because he knows who he's married to and knows just in general how this group of ladies work. You can't just sit there and be like, well, you this, you this, you this, you this. Like, you know, offer your piece, and then do it in a way where it's like you're not making your partner look crazy in front of other people, or you never want to not look like a front, like a united front, you know, out there. You know, you never want to feel just kind of like bogged down on or denigrated, or, you know, like talked down on from your spouse in front of other people, you know. So that's why Eugene's like, always be on their side, and that's commendable. And then you know, then you kind of confront your partner, either to the side or when you get home type shit, you know. But with Curtis, after that, tried to be like, he's like, but yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, our wives need to be told when they're wrong, especially, you know, we can't be having people just putting out stuff when it's not true. And then Eugene, he was like, well, good thing. He's like, you know, I've never had to tell Toya wrong in that regards, because she ain't never put out nothing that wasn't true. Catch. okay, Curtis, because you thought, I don't know what you thought you was finna like browbeat Eugene into telling you, Toya, that she was wrong, because, bro, you know what you did. And then Jackie, she wants to try to like freaking finagle history and then like make it seem like Toya sat down in that man's lap. No, your husband pulled her down in his lap. Like, your husband don't know how to act accordingly, right? And that's not Toya's fault. It's a lot of times as women, it's like, well, why? It's almost like y'all get mad at the people who rub salt in the wound, completely forgetting that the wound even exists because of your nigga, okay? Curtis is the one who gave you that wound, Jackie. And if other people rub salt in it, or you know, or are happen to be rubbing salt in the wound because they're only speaking facts and truth on what happened in y'all's marriage, then like you can't be mad at them, you know. And Curtis, the mitigated gall of you to feel like should nobody be saying nothing about you is crazy. But like I said, the men, as they're doing that, the ladies, they dancing. The girl asked, she's like, do we have any dancers? Y'all, Mimi came for this is when we finally meet Mimi after dark, okay? Mimi said me, so she went at it, but she was a dancer in college. So when she went down, she, you know, she twerked a little something. I said, okay, all right then, Mimi. Go ahead and shake them cakes since you got them. So Angel, of course, you know, Quad, you know, she gonna shake the booty. Polo Jackie over there rubbing sticks together, finna start a fire, okay? Simone, she ain't figured out her body, and heavily, you know, she's just, you can tell, it's just uncomfortable with sensuality, sexuality. It's just not her thing. So after that, all the ladies kind of sit down, and of course, you know, Toya and I forgot who, Jackie, you know, they started doing the question game. So, you know, when questions start popping up, what that means, somewhere in the mix, a mess finna get started. So Jackie started asking a question like, oh, you know, do you check your husband's phone? And Toya, she said, yep, I do. She was like, and the only reason I do is because I grew up, when you grow up with a family that I did, dad, and she was like, her daddy was out there in the streets, okay? And I get it, Toya, like, I look at men in such a non-rose colored glasses way because of my dad's. And I say dads because, like, my biological father and my stepdad. But, like, my stepdad is the one who raised me, who I called dad growing up. But I still have a relationship with my biological father. Although me and him right now are kind of on the outs because of some shit that he did. And it's like, as women, we're supposed to not act like what we've been through or what we experienced or what we grew up with, you know? And when men act out according to their upbringing, it's all cool. Like, oh, give him grace. You know, he went through so much. But then when a woman starts acting out or starts doing things because of her how she grew up, you know, there's no room for that, and that's really fucked up, you know. But checking your partner's phone, in this particular like situation, of acting out, like, it's not a thing you should be doing. You know, if you're gonna trust your partner, trust your partner. And as Toya said, she's like, but her mama did tell her, bitch, if you're gonna look, if you find something, okay, you need to be ready to act accordingly, because a lot of you hoes look through your nigga phone and it still ain't do nothing. They're gonna do all that hooting and hollering and screaming and being mad at him, and all you want to yell and throw him out, and you know you want to attack him, but like, and I'm sure you want a donkey kick him in the chest because he playing with you, right? But if you ain't finna leave, don't look. As Tamar said, that crazy Sesame Street bitch. Let that man cheat in peace if you ain't going nowhere, okay? But yeah, so then we of course get to Quad and Simone, right? Because Lord Jesus, we need to knock it out, right? The ladies are like, what's happening with y'all? And so as Quad and Simone are talking, Simone basically tells Quad, oh no, what it was, it got brought up about, oh, Jackie was like, Simone, if you were invited in a proper time, would you have gone to Quad's birthday? And Simone was like, yeah, you know, I would have went. And of course Jackie's like, I don't know about that, but I do think Simone would have went. But she was just like, Simone's thing is just kind of like, girl, you cut me out, that was so unfair, I didn't deserve that. And Quad you know, got called out basically on her being shady to Simone, because it was, you know. And Toya called her out. You know, Toya has come a long ass ways, because Toya at one point herself was not accountable, okay, at all. But to watch her grow has been a really good thing now that she's keeping these other bitches in check. Because she called out Quad and was like, girl, it was shady what you did. She's like, because you wouldn't, you know, Quad, you wouldn't do that shit, you know. So, and Quad's like, yeah, it was shady, you know, it was shady. But you know, you hurt my feelings, da 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 da. And so that's when Simone was like, girl, you cut me out, da 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 da, all the type of stuff like that. And of course, Quad got to do her, girl, you hurt me, Simone. You hurt me, Simone. And it's so weird how when Quad talk, it's like she's trying to like whisper yell. It's kind of like, I can't. You hurt me. That was just so awful. Just what I went through, Simone. I was hurt, Simone. And I just couldn't do it, okay? And so now Simone, her ass started crying. Toya had me hollering because she's like, these bitches. She's like, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Quad started crying, so Simone was like, well, bitch, I can cry too. And that's what I would do. I ain't even gonna lie. I would pull tears if I was ever on a show and somebody got to crying with me that I know was doing extra, or a white woman got to crying in front of me, bitch, I'm gonna cry too. Call me Karen, okay? Because bitch, we both crying in this bitch. You ain't finna weaponize no tears up against me. So finally, Quad did apologize for the comment and being shady or whatever. And before that though, Simone was doing the most. She started yelling at Quad. I forgot what it was, because Quad was basically like, girl, you know, you what did she say? She was like, well, what did you want me to do, Simone, or something like that. And she was like, Simone was like, oh, you needed to be afraid. You shouldn't have cut me out. And so she's like putting her finger. And then so Quad was kind of like, girl, get your finger out of my face. You better get your life. Better get your life right. Better get your life in order. Simone screaming, my life is in order. And it's like, girl, the anger. Simone, what you really mad about? You mad because you working to take care of 3 grown-ass, big-ass, capable men? You mad because you got Cecil over there letting you work and be a mattress maid and a mule? That's what you really mad about. That's what you really mad about. That's what you really mad about, Simone. It's Cecil. That couch potato over there, okay? That's what you really mad about. And them two grown-ass, deadbeat-ass Negroes, Michael and the other one, the one that talk like, that look like this. With the hair. He always just kind of look like that. Yeah, all that screaming Simone be doing, it's like, girl, who the f you talking to, you know? So, finally, after everybody calmed down, I think it was either Contessa or Toya that was like, so we good? And then and she's like, okay, so we can get back to everything, right? And so everybody kind of like broke out laughing or whatever. And then they ended up kind of hugging. And everybody was like trying to do a group hug. And they were like, nah, just let Simone the quad hug. To which then after that, Heavenly gets brought up about her running for state representative, right? And so Heavenly was like, yes, I'm sure y'all heard, or like, because Heavenly was like, oh, you finally come around? And she's like, yeah, with me running for state, it's taking up my time. And Toy basically was like, shoot, I didn't even gonna lie, I didn't think it was serious. And Heavenly was like, girl, do you even know what a state rep does? She was like, I don't give, it ain't you. Toya shit, so I don't give, it ain't you, bitch. Like, that's what I do know. She was like, girl, you trying to be there for other people. You can't even listen to us. And you supposed to represent other people? Hell no. And so now Heavenly's getting pissed off because she's like, Toya, you don't know shit. You don't know shit. What does a representative do? What does a representative do? So Toya, now she up and screaming. Heavenly, they screaming. And then finally, Heavenly brings it up because she heard Jackie clearly went back and told Toya that she was alluding to what was going on with Lil Damon Jr. And finally, Heavenly's like, keep my son's name out of your mouth. And Toya's like, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it up. Because she wasn't going to bring it up. Eugene gave her good advice of like, don't bring it up until Heavenly does, right? So, she was like, girl, she was like, I'm glad you brought it up because you've been dogging us, everybody out for the past 10 years, girl. Ain't nobody worried about talking about your son. We just stating the truth. We just stating what's happening. You want to talk about us all this time, and now nobody's supposed to talk about you.
Kiss my entire ass.
And so then we obviously the end of the episode with them two hoes going back and forth. And like I said, y'all, I agree with Toya. I do. I really do. Because Heavenly, you have been taking these hoes through there in more ways than one. But how messy boots you are, So I ain't got nothing for you, Heavenly. Honestly, this is that universal karma coming back towards you. All right. But that was Married to Medicine. Hopefully this wasn't too long of a review. Y'all drop down in the comments, tell me what you feel about the episode, the season so far. Do you guys feel like Simone and Quad will ever really truly get back to being good? What do you guys feel like Simone is really upset about, that she constantly is just bursting at the seams to scream and yell? Do you guys feel like Curtis has the right to try to pull Eugene up on checking Toya? And what else happened this episode? Brandy, Jackie, Jackie dance party, Fume, Contessa. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, you guys. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and make sure to drop it in the comments. Let me know that you stopped by, and I'll catch you hoes in the next one. Deuces.